I'm Shane.
I'm Bo.
We are your Kentucky Fried Critics.
Welcome back.
Still kicking off our Oktoberfest. You like that?
Oktoberfest, yeah.
You like that? Ours spelled with the hyphen and like October. I'm trying to find things, right? Because last year we used up spooky celebration or whatever. You know, like
Spooktacular.
Yeah, whatever it was. So we needed a new name this year for it. And if
works perfect because all we're drinking.
Yeah, I figured that's what I thought. Episode 7. Pretty sure.
Yeah.
We'll go with that. For sure. Right now. It's as good of an idea as I have.
We'll write it. We'll start writing shit down eventually.
We have to. Because it's beginning to be a problem. It really is. It's a struggle. It's a real struggle to get that right. You guys already know, like we said, this is all Oktoberfest, but I'll let Bo go ahead and tell us which specific one we're drinking this week.
We're doing Masthead Brewing Company's Oktoberfest this time.
All right. This, I do believe, is our first slightly different.
Yeah, this one's a lager. The rest of them have been the marzipan or whatever.
Marzens. Well, and Marzens are a type of lager. But yeah, this is definitely a lighter one, I would say. Much lighter than the ones we've had.
Colored.
Yeah. The last ones have definitely been that dark brown. You know, again, right? They literally look like the wheat that they are made
ground up from.
Yeah, this is definitely nicer looking. It's lighter. It's definitely made so that way you can drink more of these.
And we like the Germans for that.
Yeah, the only
it's
people
a uniquely German solution. Like, this beer is fantastic,
heavy,
a little too much.
Yeah,
how do we make it better?
I need to be able to drink more of them.
I need to be able to drink more of this
before 3 o'clock in the afternoon and still function after 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
I need a food nap.
Yeah. I have to say, though, again, like, this is... my preference is definitely this style.
Oh, yeah.
It's
crisper.
Yeah, the first two we had were definitely the straight-up true dark Marzens.
Yeah, you can barely see through them.
Yeah, this was a true surprise, and I'm glad we're here. I'm happy we found this. Because this is what I got, I think I would probably imagine was I introduced as an Oktoberfest here in America. Is definitely like this, more like this style.
I don't know, the first one I ever had was the Sam Adams one. Is that what it is?
I'm not sure.
I have no
I'd
idea.
have to look into theirs. It's probably, I've had it, but it's been so long.
It was years
when I
ago.
had it, I definitely was not a beer.
Right, I was just like,
now I'm
beer.
still not a beer person, but at the time I was
much more knowledgeable. Yeah,
definitely not a beer person. Right, like leaps and bounds from where that guy was.
Best you could go is like, it's a good beer, right?
The best I could say is if I poured it in a glass, if it was light or dark. That's the most I could tell you back then, right? Like, I mean, I didn't know anything. It is what it is. We can get on from there. Again, it's no secret anymore. We've not been playing our game. You guys already know this.
No, it's easier this way, and everybody gets to watch the movie before we talk about it.
And so this week, it was a return to my pick. You know, again, we already told you this month the whole reason for our Oktoberfest is that it's our Oktoberfest, and we pick what we want.
We're celebrating our October with our favorite horror movies.
And so last week was Reanimator, which was Bo's.
Woo!
Week 1 was my first pick of Dr. Giggles, which
was a sneak surprise great there. Like, I hadn't seen that one.
Silly Schlockfest.
Oh, I love shit like that.
And this one is Friday the 13th, which is another one of those ones. This one is a little bit different, right? I told you Dr. Giggles is not like one of my absolute favorites like that, but it is one of those ones that stuck with me since I was a child. Like, I was just at the right age. It scared me. This one checks that box. I was like 7 the first time I saw this. Oh yeah, it was bad.
Damn,
it was like at a friend's place. Their parents were the ones that were like, they had an older sister, and it was a whole thing. But yeah, we were young, and I was scared shitless from that experience. But on top of that, despite the fact that this one has nothing to do with the rest of the franchise.
Yeah,
really,
nothing.
Per se.
It's its own standalone
The
story.
Voorhees name and Crystal Lake are
That's
the
it.
only, like, and I don't even mean, like, specifically, like, location. I just mean the name. right?
Yeah, because the
name.
second one's a completely different camp.
Well, even if it's not, like, you can go to any camp. Like, no one's paying enough attention to be like, well, that's not where the cabin was.
That's not the same cabin.
Yeah, because it's just like, oh, summer cabin. All right, whatever. But yeah, the rest of them are all where we get, Jason. This is not Jason.
Yeah, this is Jason. This is Mrs. Voorhees.
Yeah. I am a huge Jason fan. I'm a fanatic, for like, straight up. I'm not even gonna lie. I have Kane Hodder's autograph. I have his autobiography.
Ooh, that's cool.
I have his autograph in his autobiography.
Oh yeah.
He told a full little story about how his parents were gonna name him Shane, but they wanted something a little bit different. And then that's why they decided on Kane. I was like, you're the coolest man in the world for telling me this story, because I didn't pay for anything special. Guy in front of me, he paid for like 3 giant movie posters to get signed. Like, so that's tons of extra cash. I went with the book. Like, it was part of the book purchase for the thing that he was set up for. Yeah. And so I didn't pay anything extra. So he didn't have to talk. He didn't talk to that guy at all. I came up with just a book. He heard my name and he said, he literally took the marker, sat it down, and said, let me tell you a story real quick.
Fuck yeah, dude.
I said, story time from my favorite fucking guy, Jason Voorhees himself. Yeah, I'm, like I said, I'm a fanatic. I love me.
Then he jumped up and tried to, like, choke you, right?
That would have been the dope. I think you do have to pay extra for that.
Oh,
one.
You do?
I'm pretty sure. Especially if you want a picture of it. Like, maybe the experience, he might just let you have that for free. But if you want to have a picture to show people, he's definitely going to be like, well, yeah, throw me a couple bucks.
Yeah, I need 10 more bucks, buddy. I'm sorry.
But yeah, like, I absolutely love this franchise. And so, again, we can't talk about this franchise without talking about this one, despite the fact that they're barely connected. Related. Again, this checks 2 boxes then for me. Like, it checks that box of, like, this is maybe not a movie I actually watch this one all the time. Yeah. I watch a lot in the franchise because I love Jason.
I like 10. That's my favorite one.
But it scared the piss out of me as a kid. Right? Like, it checks the Dr. Giggles box. Like, I was too young.
Too young to watch this, and it fucking just stayed with me.
Yes. And some of the most random parts of it are the things that stuck with me the worst. We can get into that as we go along. Yeah, this is, I don't know. This is
the
like
start of all of, like, the
this
cliches?
is like a true beginning of the true slasher. Yeah, 80s slasher film. Like, other 80s horror exists, but this is like the true 80s slasher start for sure. And this is, like, Reanimator is like a cult classic, and Friday the 13th is not.
No, everyone knows this movie.
This is the, like, if you tell people you're a horror, like, again, this is why this isn't the one that I would tell. I want to clarify that this is not like my go-to. You have to watch, like, because people judge people for their horror movie picks. I try
not to.
I love this movie, but it wouldn't be my one I would tell people, because people are going to judge you for this one. Yeah. People are going to be like, that's the most mainstream schlock answer. It's name dropped in Scream. Like, it's the question.
Yeah, it's the question.
So, like, even people who don't know the franchise know that twist piece of it because they've seen Scream. Although I guess now we are officially getting old enough.
Scream did kind of ruin it for me. I saw Scream before I had actually watched this movie.
The sad part is that we are now getting old enough where kids haven't seen either. And
God damn it.
Like, now I don't know where they do find out that reference from. Probably something else that's
short.
Well, it's something else that's referencing Scream.
Probably.
From where it referenced that, right? Like, that's got to be it. Meta within meta on how they find out. Yeah, this is the most this isn't Reanimator. Reanimator is a cult classic.
Cult classic. This is literally your great grandma knows about this movie.
Yeah, everybody. Like, again, no special high twist ending. Kids already knew this from the meta stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is it's no longer it's not a surprise anyway in pop culture. It's not a surprise because this movie is 44 years old now. 1980.
Fuck.
1980 is when this one came out. It's older than me. I mean,
but still.
When
I was a kid, that wasn't that long ago.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Now it is. I mean, again, like, we're stumbling on it being a 50-year-old movie. Like, think about that. It's about to get its 50. You remember when we were kids and things that were getting their 50-year release were only like black and white movies?
Yeah, dude. God.
Now we're about to stumble onto 50-year releases, like movies that we watched as children.
The 50-year for Star Trek a few years ago.
You see what I'm saying?
God damn it.
We live in the age.
Time needs to stop moving forward just for a few years. Can we just pause?
We live in the age where me and you are both too old. I don't know.
I
don't feel that old.
I do.
I don't.
Only
especially
for like 5 minutes in the morning. I'm like, God, I'm so old.
I don't even.
And
have
then I'm
that.
like, no, I'm not, because I still watch fucking cartoons when I'm drinking my coffee in the morning.
I guess
Sitting there watching Bugs Bunny.
It's all perspective, I guess. So we can go ahead and get into things.
Get into the actual movie.
There's no surprises left here to talk about.
No.
We all know what we're getting into, so let's just start talking about this.
Give us the cast.
So we have well, again, I think we can, before we even really say this, right? We have 2 names we need to drop, and then
everybody else was just in this movie.
I'll mention the other people, but again, like
Credit where credit's due, right?
Yeah, but I don't know them from anything. Most of them haven't done anything outside of most of them have done fan projects. I think I saw is what most of them have done outside of this. So that's cool as shit. But that's
I want to
really
see those now.
Yeah. But so
love a good fanfic.
The 2 we need to drop for sure. We got Betsy Palmer.
Yes.
And that's Mrs. Voorhees. And
who saves the movie at the end, honestly.
Yes,
she is so good.
We mainly just have to name drop her because, again, the franchise is huge. The first one, not a cult, but technically it exists in a weird place.
It was a cult classic
at one point for a long time until it got meta referenced all the time.
Until like they just kept making them and then everybody knew about them.
Yes. And so like but Betsy Palmer for sure cult movie star status because of this role, right?
And
like, we can
from
all
what
agree.
I hear, just the most nice lady
oh
ever.
Yeah, no, and she loved doing conventions and stuff like that because again, sweet old lady. She loved people coming up to talk to her.
The only reason she even like did the movie is because she needed to buy a new car. Like, she didn't give a shit about it at all. She's just like, they're gonna buy it's like $2,500 or something for the movie, and she's like, I bought a new car with it.
Perfect, right?
Hell yeah,
perfect.
I think she said she still had the car. Even.
That's dope. I love that. Again, sweet lady, and we love her for it, and we love her for this role. Way to go, Mrs. Voorhees.
Mrs. Voorhees.
Despite scaring
the absolute piss out of me as when I was a kid. Yeah.
Then the only other person that is like important is because he actually is important.
He actually is important. He's the only one that came out of this
the
movie.
Baconator.
It's Kevin Bacon.
The Baconator himself.
The Baconator himself.
I mean, I just gotta go straight into it because I love Kevin Bacon. As a man who shares with me the last name living in the world of pork
of a cured pork product.
I've always felt a kinship with Kevin Bacon.
Ham and Bacon, man.
Right?
That's your buddy cop movie right there.
I had a friend in college and his last name was Bacon and we used to make the same joke all the time. But yeah, it all started with Kevin Bacon because I just have always felt a connection to Kevin Bacon. 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon was always I was like I wanted to win because I was like I wanted the connect. Like when they would literally do it with yourself. Like not even just like movie stars. I would be like,
somehow I'm going to make myself connect to Kevin Bacon. I will make it work
because we need the pork products to connect. Right? It's silly, but it's true.
Porkies. That's your starting point right there. You got to start with Porkies and work your way back to Kevin Bacon.
I'm down to make this chart. Dude. But yeah, I love Kevin Bacon. I love all of his movies, even the bad ones.
What's your favorite one?
Oh, gee, I don't know. You know me, dude. You can't put me on the spot like that. I'm not that type of person, really, with most things. Like again, like especially if I love their whole collection, it's hard for me to separate them out. Jesus, I really have no idea, man.
You want me to tell you mine?
Yes.
Think about it. Mine's actually Stir of Echoes.
That's a good one.
I love that one where they have like the chick buried in the wall and shit.
Painted Black. I know.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. I love
through the whole movie. Painted Black. Yeah. I don't know. It's gonna be something in the 80s. I don't know which one.
Footloose?
He's in a lot of them. Maybe. I
like
love
Footloose. Footloose is
I
good.
used to listen to
the scene where he's trying to teach that one dude how to dance and he has like absolutely no fucking rhythm.
Chris Penn.
Yeah.
No, I love Footloose. I used to listen to the soundtrack on cassette just so that way I can age myself really
just a little
bad.
bit more.
All the time. Don't get me wrong, it was not I'm not old enough to have owned the cassette when the movie came out. I was 2 or something. If I was even born. I don't know if
it's your dad's cassette. I just listened to it. Oh, okay.
It was Mom's. Let's be fair here.
All right, that makes sense.
I want to give credit where credit is due. That was Mom's cassette. She made sure to tell me that when I got it. I was like, okay, all right, Mom. But yeah, I listen to that one all the time. It's got some bangers on it.
It really does.
Maneater?
Yeah. Footloose itself, the actual song.
All right, we are
tangent.
Way off topic. Well, maybe not way. We're still Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon.
We're within the 6 degrees.
We're within the 6th degree. We're on the 4th degree of Kevin Bacon here.
So we are fine, man. That's why this.
We went Sturbeckos, Footloose. Now we got to round back to Friday the 13th.
Like we said, he is here. He did not survive.
He has the best death in the movie.
It's one of the first ones we get a really good gruesome look at too,
because
which is
Ned
really
dies off camera, right?
Yeah, so it really helps set us up for that too. The only other person that was Annie. Annie dies first, but
she dies first.
It's more we don't see it, we just know it, right? Like
it shows it. She gets her throat slit in the forest.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Because she's running away.
But it does the weird. That's when we can't talk about it. Yeah, we'll talk about it. Yeah, it does the weird. It like cuts to like different angles. Yeah, that can't actually. If you line them up, like those scenes can't be the same. Yeah,
they shot them different. It's like, okay, we're gonna do the slash. All right, cut. We're gonna go put the makeup on real quick, and we're gonna go. All right, action.
But we'll get more into all of the weirdness with that scene in just a moment. We'll go ahead before we name the rest of the... We
mentioned her already, who played Annie.
Well, give me 1 second. I was about to tell them the director and stuff before we move on. Because
again,
most of these people haven't done anything for us to really need to dive into either.
My bad.
The main thing I want to mention, we got our director was Sean Cunningham. He's also the producer. He is also the person who, if you hate Jason Goes to Hell, you can be mad at him.
It's his fault.
It's his fault. I don't hate that movie.
Say, how do you hate that one? That one's like the funniest one.
It's crazy. It's
awesome.
batshit insane. And the add to the batshitness of it is that Sean Cunningham literally left the franchise after the first one, produced all of the House franchise.
Yeah, that was cool.
And then came back to make Jason Goes to Hell. So like the director producer was like, fuck all you guys, you don't know.
This is what I wanted to happen. This wacky batshit hellscape puppets and shit.
Progeny that can turn into the next demon incarnation. And it's a worm, but you can pass it through eating a heart. I don't know. That movie has so much going on.
The special effects are what you want from that movie. Just go watch it and watch how fucking crazy all the practical effects are.
But yeah, I like again. I mean, I love the franchise. I'm not trying to knock it. But yeah, so he's our director, he's our producer, and didn't do a lot with the franchise until when people would say it was horrible. Yeah.
Those are just cynical people with no soul.
I agree. Our writers are Ron Kurz. He is also he worked on the first 4, so he is the only person who can actually try to really lay a claim to. I wanted to make Jason
do this the whole time,
which is still not true. And I don't care if I don't think he ever did say that, but if he did, I would still tell him that's not true.
Yeah, because even if it's slightly true, you started that in the second one. You were like, well, maybe with this one I can make a overarching story for the next few movies, but definitely not with the first fucking one.
No, not at all. Then our last writer is Victor Miller. Never came back.
Really?
Yeah, he was done.
Did he hate what they did with his characters?
You
that
know
much?
Me, dude. I'm not doing that kind of research. I just do the top level stuff here.
Well, we'll ask the internet the question.
Yeah, someone else can
tell me.
Someone else can answer that.
He was just so fucking disgusted that Jason lived, then he said, fuck all you people, and just left, right?
It might be, dude.
They ruined my art.
Well, it's not even that it wouldn't even be because they made him live. It would be because they did the thing where they made it be a year and they turned him from the fictional kid flipping a boat
to
an adult woodsman.
Giant.
Well, just like an adult woodsman.
Yeah, he lives in the woods,
right? Like he's a survivalist.
Yeah, that's the word. Dope little like hand built shack that he fucking has.
And so that's a hell of a difference, right? Well, I mean, and again, like the now that we're already talking about Jason, we'll just do this because I love the guy, but I can't defend.
He is the franchise.
Well,
I can't talk about him.
Yeah, well, but I can't defend the weirdness of the beginning of his starting either, though, right?
Yeah,
like again, so we go from 1, he's a kid. Right?
Yep.
He is literally the only time we see him.
He's a rotted corpse child.
At the end, he's a rotted corpse of a child. 2, he's a survivalist who's always been alive. He's not. There's no supernatural here.
It's implied that he was just hanging out in the woods and watched his mom die.
He wore the fucking potato sack with a hole in it over his face.
That's a ripoff of another movie.
Yes,
I can't think of what it's called now.
and he is definitely not. There's not anything magical. Like
no, he's not supernatural. He's just a crazy guy living in the woods.
Yes, watch some weird shit. It survived.
Yeah.
They never even make clear.
Dogs apparently.
Well, his mom didn't even know he was alive.
Yeah,
right? So he watched his mom be insane for 30 years
and just stayed away from her.
But then 3 is when we get supernatural shit, and we get the Jason we know. 3 is blue jumpsuit. 3 is hockey mask.
Yep. Even though it's at the very end when he gets the hockey mask.
Yes, but still, he gets it.
It is an important scene because it's almost like he's like complete because he's like, and puts it on. The music sting hits and it's just like dun dun. It's like Jason's finally fucking here.
Even though they didn't even know how big it was going to be.
This is the Jason finds himself quadrilogy, right? Yeah. The first 4 is like, or well, no, not the first one. The second one.
He doesn't do anything in the first one.
Shit in the first one, does
that we're talking about. We got to stop now.
Fuck, I'm way off.
I know. Again, I opened the floodgate. I mentioned him, but we got to stop because, like I've already pointed out, he's not here.
He's not here.
No matter how much I love him. Trust me, I could talk about him all day, but we need to stop. We need to move on. We got to
talk about this.
Yeah, we got to start talking about this.
The thing that started it all.
The other actors, I'll just do this really fast.
Yeah, go for it.
Like we've already said even what we need to say. So we've got Adrienne King, who was Alice. We've got Janine Taylor, who was Marcy. Robbie Morgan, who was Annie. Harry Crosby as Bill. Lori Bartram as Brenda. Mark Nelson as Ned. Peter Brower as Steve. And that's all of the people that are even main enough to worry about.
Yeah, those are our campers.
Yeah, that's the people who are at the camp.
Yeah,
for sure.
Steve owns the camp. The rest of them are counselors.
And that's what's important. So now we can just get into how the movie starts. Again, this is one of those rare fews starts just right into the movie. There's no music. There's no credits.
Nope,
there's no nothing.
It's like the picture, camp,
like moon, full moon, like full over moon. Camp. And they're like, we don't even know the flashback it's a flashback yet, right? They give you a good like 30 seconds before they flash the
1958.
Before you see that, you could totally just believe this is camp anytime because it's literally just people. You just see people playing the
there's
playing
nothing
the guitar,
that indicates that it's
song.
The 50s. It's not like a Packard fucking drove up or something.
So if you've never gone into it, you could be fooled into thinking you're literally just already in movie, but you are technically just seeing setup.
Yeah, this is the inciting incident.
Well, I would say the inciting incident is actually what led to this, and then this is right. This isn't Jason dying.
Well, yeah, but we don't know that yet.
I know, but but again, we don't get reference back to this for a while, right? Like this.
No, not till Annie's in the truck with that dude.
So that's what I'm saying. Like that's a 20-year jump that they go from like they're just like, hey, this is 1960, and then they're like, hey, we're in 1980.
Just so you know.
So. We get a jump no matter what.
For title cards,
yeah,
right?
We get a jump no matter what, and it's hard to know why or how that these moments could be connected, other than it's the same camp. So, it is what it is. They like to try to trick you here. But yeah, we see the camp. We see these counselors. They're singing Hallelujah.
Michael, row your boat ashore. Hallelujah.
Those two counselors start making
fucking the hell out of each other
during that song, and it is disturbing.
That's blasphemy.
How
dare you?
My note is exactly
Jesus is watching.
My note is exactly blasphemous, and that's it. Blasphemous. Why would you? How could you?
As soon as the song's done, she's even just like, "Come on!"
Right?
And
I was like,
go.
These two, they have it coming.
Yeah, they do.
And the best part is that people don't even know the rules yet. This is before.
Yeah, this is before we've got Jamie Kennedy's rules of horror movies.
Well, this is before.
I think this movie like starts a lot of those.
It does. This is the movie that before this movie they didn't exist. It took this happening before other movies did it, and then it became a trope, right? So this movie just started the trend of all that. Jamie Kennedy is not the one who. He's just the one on film. He's not the first person to have ever pointed that out. Lots of people have.
I'm giving him credit because I love that scene.
I love that scene too. But I just want to point out that I love Wes Craven as the writer.
Are they watching Friday the 13th in the
when he says
when he's doing the speech?
I don't know.
It's either that or Halloween.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But so again, the rules thing. It's just that's a thing. That's all people talked about. I don't even want to give Wes Wes
Why
Craven
do they run
didn't
upstairs?
Wes Craven didn't even write that. Like he was just making it was meta. It was him
meta
making
joke,
a meta statement about like everybody says this about the movies. We all have that one friend who's like you didn't know this, but it was pre-internet, so it did, like we all had that friend that said stuff like that. But it was them piecing it together themselves, right? So that's the cool thing about it.
Try making a horror movie without doing any of these.
Oh, yeah,
I fucking dare you.
It would be so hard.
That would be fucking... You have to literally reinvent horror to not do any of these tropes.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
So, thank you, Friday the 13th.
You're definitely not going to be doing any of the traditional, like, genres of horror, right? Like, because there's a lot. Slasher, this, that. Most of the traditional ones are going to include those tropes. They are the rules because they are the rules.
I like a sci-fi horror that does a lot of these.
All right, back to where we were. So yeah, these two they immediately go run off after the
Hallelujah song
and the fuck me eyes with each other and stuff. And
to go fuck. That's what they're gonna go do.
And on the way, we even get to find out beautifully that some of these sexual tropes are just timeless, right? Like she's just like, I thought you liked me. I do. And it's just like, man, it's good to know. And then he starts giving her like I told you. I told you we were special. He starts to give the fuck boy stare. He's like, come on, you know, it was.
He even says like, if you have the subtitles on, he says it quiet. He's like, "Oh, man's not made of stone."
Yeah,
like, shut the fuck up, dude. You're already half in. You don't got to keep trying.
And then they start getting it on. And someone, we don't know who.
This is our first like POV shot, right?
Oh, yeah.
Where they're going up the stairs and shit.
And we don't know who it is. We don't know what exactly
they
happens.
Act like they know who it is.
They flip around because they're surprised, but they're not scared.
Yeah,
so
they're like, oh shit, we've been caught. We wasn't doing anything.
We were just messing around. Yes.
Poor guy.
Didn't even get to finish the sentence.
No.
I hope he finished.
I don't think he even got his pants off.
I don't know. I wasn't trying to pay that much attention.
Somebody go back and look. Was his pants undone or was it just the belt? Because he's doing his belt up when he stands up.
So again, us knowing, all of us living in a world where we already know, these most likely were the same counselors
that
because
let Jason
we do know,
die.
like we get told the story is that those were the only two people that died that summer.
Yep.
So we can assume that they're the ones that were working the year before who let Jason die, and then she came back and got her revenge because they were dumb enough to come back. I don't know about you, but I would feel like
really bad
PTSD.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to work at the camp anymore.
And maybe not come back that next year.
Like I'd feel, man, how fucking self-centered are these fucking people? Like, whatever, that kid died last year on my watch. And how negligent
are the owners to hire them back again?
Fuck no, I'd have been like, no, you were watching the fucking lake and you let someone die. You're not allowed to work here anymore.
But yeah, so then we see a little bit of roll into our opening shots here with the music.
Friday the 13th coming through and breaking the glass.
I absolutely love.
I like that they kept that for like the first 4 of them too.
I love the opening score.
Yes,
I don't understand.
Oh, I meant to look up the music guy.
I'm not sure.
Shit, somebody tell me in the comments.
You usually do more of that than I do. Despite being the guy
because I like giving composers their
I know
credits.
You do. I just love to talk about the feeling of the opening songs. It's usually more just about the feeling to me. I guess that's some of that. Like,
gets Psycho vibes.
It does.
Right?
It gives very much Psycho vibes.
With the violin,
yes. I was going to say it's got the stab notes to it, right?
Little chocolate syrup for the blood.
But yeah, again, like it's so crazy to me that this is a franchise we all love. We all know these things. We all talk about this. Usually we know the scores. We all talk about Psycho. Most of us know Halloween and can sing it in our head.
Yeah.
No one knows this one.
You mean I can't think of it
right now.
All you think of is the
yes. They did such a good job with that. But
when you're watching
the
movie, you're like, man, that opening theme's kind of.
It is.
I like
the jam.
When they remix it in the third one, it's all like disco and shit. You kind of want to dance to it.
Yeah, it's really good. All right, so after the intro, after the nice, cool, ambient setting music here, we get to see a girl backpacking,
hitchhiking.
Did she just come off the Appalachian Trail or something?
She's got like this? A bedroll and everything,
right? Well, and we can
just
see
walking into town.
We quickly find out after she gets here that again she has just been walking. I mean, again, like she comes up not knowing exactly where
she
she is,
or
how far
it
she has
is.
to go. So if she was in a vehicle at some point, she would probably know some of that.
Right.
She has no idea. She's been walking for a minute.
She got off the bus like 40 miles ago, and she's just like been walking all day.
Did you notice that the town gave off weird European Willy Wonka vibes?
Yeah, a little bit.
Right? Like
it didn't seem like
the architecture.
Yeah.
It had the weird arch things.
Yeah, it was almost Germanic.
That's my notes are literally like European German Hamlet, like fucking Willy Wonka.
Like cobblestone street.
Yes,
and everything.
it's so. I was like, where in America? Like it feels a little small town America, and then you see stuff where you're like,
maybe that's
or Germany.
Maybe that's how it is up in the Northeast.
I don't.
We
just
don't know because we're down.
I
here
don't
in the
think
South.
so. It felt. Dude, even some of the vehicles, like the truck that the dude drives
around,
does not feel like an American
truck, isn't it? You almost want the steering wheel to be on the other side.
So I'm telling you, yeah, like the whole opening, I'm like, where were we filming?
Where the fuck are we at?
Where did they have a budget for that?
They really don't want you to know where Crystal Lake is. Maybe it's all true. It's real life.
Yeah, so this is our Annie. She is walking into town. Like we said, she gets to this diner grocery store. Did you notice it behind her?
Oh yeah,
it was a full grocery
gas
store.
station almost.
And she's like, "Oh, how far? How far?" Which again, that's my clue. She didn't even know. She was not being driven. Yeah, she's still not even close.
Good ways away.
Not even close. She's like, they're all like, "Oh, you want to go to that camp?
Camp Blood? They opened that place again?"
She didn't care. She didn't ask question.
She didn't ask a single question about the Camp Blood thing.
Phase
She's
her
just like,
at all. That's so shocking to me that you could do that and not care and not even.
My immediate question would have been, why is it called Camp Blood?
Like lady behind the counter, Enos, you want to help take her?
Yeah, I reckon. I'd take her up to Crossroads. That's about halfway.
This is so insane. Like that food.
Why do they have southern accents? Aren't they supposed to be up north?
That food must be to die for.
I mean, most diner food is dope.
Well, I'm just saying, Enos just dropped everything because the waitress said,
"Take that bitch on a ride."
Right?
Take her up where she need to go.
He wasn't done. We don't know if he had paid. We don't know nothing. Enos just said, "All right," and stood up and said, "Let's go."
Maybe they're dating.
I don't know.
Maybe that's his girlfriend.
I feel like there was something with Enos that we didn't.
I wanted more of that story.
We needed to hear more of that for sure. And then he does though. He takes her Annie on the road trip to go out halfway.
Yeah, to the Crossroads. They kept calling it.
And so on the way, he both gets a little weird and creepy with her. Like all old men in this movie do.
Yeah.
It's kind of it just happens.
Before they even get in the truck, he's just like, "Everybody gonna be as pretty as you
when
you get to the camp?"
He gets very weird immediately. But then he does try to help her, right?
Yeah.
They're driving and he's just like, "So do you know?
Do you know anything about the camp?" And she just starts going like, "Well, I'm gonna be cooking."
She has
and all this other shit.
No worry in the world.
Nope.
About what he says.
He just looks at her and he just goes, "Quit now."
And she's like, "Oh, but it's so enriching." And I don't know about you. I don't think that this 18-year-old Annie knows a thing about cooking on a large scale like that.
No, for 50 kids, I have years of experience. I don't want to cook for 50 kids.
I can't imagine. Like when I saw her and then she said cook, I said no.
Just as a side point, when we see the kitchen later on, there's no fucking way you're cooking that many for that many people out of that tiny ass kitchen.
No. Yeah, it was. Everything about the conversation though with Enos and Annie was
like he's like low key just trying to be like, "Run, bitch."
He did everything but like slap her in the mouth and say, "Go away.
Shut up, bitch. Run. Listen to me."
And she wouldn't even ask him what he was talking about. Like he was like, "Did you hear about what happened?" She didn't even say what.
No, that's where she starts talking about like feeding the kids and shit. And he's just like, "No, about like the murders and the kid drowning."
And then she hears that. And she heard the bitch say Camp Blood, and she still doesn't bring anything just like, up.
"Oh, you
guys worry about nothing."
Yeah, you're starting to sound like your crazy friend and all this other shit.
What in the hell? Annie almost has it coming.
She has it coming. She really does.
But so he does. Enos drops her off, like we said, halfway. This is insane. So this bitch is about to walk 10 miles
that pack
down a
on.
gravel road. Like, this isn't even paved. It's a fucking gravel
Man,
road.
the 80s were a wild time because I would not have done that.
No cell phone? Fuck. I wouldn't do it now.
I would not done that. That's insane. After she gets dropped off, though, we get to see some more of our counselors.
Yeah, we got Ned, Marcy, and the Baconator. Jack in the this is a really nice truck. I like this truck. This red GMC, like 1978.
It's a nice old
very nice.
truck.
I think it's Ned's truck. But they're on their way to go
ever
work.
tell us, actually.
No.
It's that type of time period, right? It's like the very end of the 70s. It's very like these friends all just kind of like interuse this.
They stole the truck outside of Memphis. That's what really happened.
Yeah, we see these three driving down the road,
and they get to the camp and meet Mr. Christie. Steve Christie. He is dressed ridiculously.
Well, he's dressed ridiculously, and he is an ass out the gate, right?
Immediately.
They pull up.
Just get out of the truck.
They literally only seconds ago turned off that fucking country bumpkin music that they had blasting. Yeah. And before they can even like think, he's just like, hey,
get over here. Help me with this. Come push this stump over
ripping
here.
a stump out of the ground. Yeah. It was just like, what? And I mean it. I'm on Ned's side. Ned looks at this like, what the hell's going on?
Like
he helps get it out of the ground, and then
introduces themselves.
Well, and then Steve starts barking some more orders immediately after that.
Where's Bill and Brenda? I need them to start painting this, and you people go off over there, and I'm going to go wander off this direction.
Look, and Ned's just like, I thought we had 2 weeks before we actually started work.
They haven't even unloaded the truck.
They haven't done anything.
All they did was just be like, this is my name.
They threw a stump out of the ground and shook the guy's hand.
Right,
that's the only thing that's happened.
Steve's an asshole.
Have they filled out paperwork?
No, nothing. They haven't even filled out their W-2s. Nothing. This is a job,
right? This is all so insane. The way all of this happened. Steve. But back to what he's dressed like you said.
I couldn't think of the guy's name, but I knew the show.
Tobias Funke.
Yeah,
Funke.
Funke.
It's got the dots over the e.
The goo.
Yeah,
or whatever.
It's however you would pronounce that, but yeah, it's David Cross.
Yeah, he's dressed just like that guy. That's where they got it apparently.
The near nude, right? Or whatever. Or the never nude.
Got the little red bandana.
Yes,
shit.
Bandana. Fucking shorts, cut off jeans,
short
hiking boots, like literally, it's
styling, brother.
It's the same thing.
Looking great.
Well, and the best part is like in the very beginning when he starts barking the orders,
porn stash.
You barely notice all of this, right?
Yeah.
But it's as soon as that scene is over is when you really notice because it's the creepy him and Alice interaction. Right, he like rolls around the corner of the building,
and she's like
looking suave, while she's on the ladder.
You're a really good artist.
When did you do this? Last night? Do I really look like this?
You did last night. It's all like
she wasn't
weird
even sexy yet.
It's just like weird pseudo-sexual, but she's just kind of like, yeah, you did last night.
Yeah, exactly. The whole scene is so weird because after she climbs off the ladder, their acting is so bad that I can't read
what's actually happening.
I don't know if it's supposed to be awkward because he's making it sexual and there's never been sexual.
Or did they used to fuck and now it's over?
And they're still trying to work together.
He's playing it like that's what's happening. She's playing it like he wants to fuck her and she's not about it. So you get a weird mix of the two.
Well, you get the two, but then in the very middle, you get the moment where they talk to each other just like boss and employee.
She's like,
there's nothing else.
I don't know if I'm gonna like it here. He's like,
I might have to go
give
home.
It like just a week. If you don't like it, well, I'll put you on the bus myself.
The best acting of that scene was the middle.
Just the middle part, yeah.
Where they were boss employee. Every other part of that, I could not read what they wanted me to think at all.
I'm going to go with Steve wanted to fuck her, but she wasn't about it because in the very next scene when she goes and talks to Bill, she seems like she is super into Bill.
Well, she seems into Bill the rest of the movie.
Right.
And so I 100% think that you're right. But it doesn't change
the acting did not help.
Doesn't change the fact that you can't you need the context to figure it out. You definitely cannot watch
and
this.
Steve
and
is like 10 years older than her too.
Well, again, they do the break where it's normal for a moment, and then his immediate reaction to come out of that moment was the face touch.
It's like,
he gently caresses the bottom of her, like the bottom.
Yeah, it's
not
weird.
even like the cheek, like you might expect. It's like the bottom of her chin.
I'm gonna cup her chin, like
Yeah. Steve's a weird guy.
It goes back and forth.
Steve's a weird guy.
Because Steve's not a good actor. You think they? I feel like they just like got local actors wherever they shot this fucking movie.
We almost forgot to actually mention who the girl was, right? Alice. Did we say it was Alice?
Yeah, we said it was Alice.
I hope we did. If not, let's go ahead and just make sure.
Alice, just to make sure.
Just so that way we can try to stay on with what people's jobs might be, right? Because again, like all these people are
supposed to be like the assistant.
That's what I was gonna say. She is clearly Steve's assistant, which would also go towards that. I don't know what kind. Is this a power struggle? Is this he used that for sexual gains because of that?
And
there are again, like I said, none of this helps me know anything. But I want to clarify.
I'm gonna just go with Steve's an asshole.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like they leave there, like you already mentioned. She gets to go see Bill the painter. Because again, at this point, she's doing assistant work, right?
Yeah.
So she is trying to make sure everybody else can get their job done.
Yeah, she's going to check in, seeing if he needs more paint. And
Steve is busy doing fuck all.
I don't know what he's
all
doing
the time. So he goes down.
He just fucks off here.
He's already fucked off. But he's about to like literally fuck off the property.
Yeah, the property.
Yeah. But yeah, right now she's down to talk to Bill the painter. Dude, Bill is looking like sexy Robin Williams, right? He's wearing like white pants with fucking red suspenders, shirtless.
Oh my god, he does. He looks like hot more Robin Williams. Less hairy. He doesn't have like the super hairy arms and shit.
It's very funny.
That's fucking funny.
But again, this is the moment where you can tell she most likely has the hots for Bill.
Yeah,
you can tell nothing's happened.
No, not yet. Because she says
the whole movie.
Because he asked her if she's gonna like stay, and she's like, I don't know, I might not last a week.
The whole movie lets you know too,
she's
right?
She's super into it,
and that they have never done anything because they constantly reference like,
when the
were you gonna do
game.
this? Were you gonna do that? I mean,
during the strip Monopoly,
yeah. So there's a lot of things that let us know that they have definitely flirted with each other a lot,
probably for a few weeks,
but they have not actually done anything. They were still there. Again, just making the whole muddled area with fucking Steve.
He's a creepy old guy, just like, oh, she's so cute, 19-year-old girl.
Mm-hmm. All Bill the painter cares about is if other people are there, which makes me think Bill has been here the longest.
His ass
right?
off.
He's been here the longest.
All
and he's
the
done
cabins
the most.
that are ready has been Bill. Like Brenda just got there because she's off fucking around over at the archery range.
He's just like, who else is here? For the love of God, tell me people are here.
Right?
Right?
Who else is here? God damn it, I need help.
Did the cook fucking show up? I'm hungry and I don't want to make my own food anymore.
Poor Bill's working his ass
definitely
off.
do. Bill just seems fed up with all of it. I'm telling you right now. And again, he asked about Annie, and it's no one's fault. I don't know if she told people she was going to be hiking/hitchhiking the whole way from fucking California or wherever the fuck she just came from.
She's just one of those girls who's just like, I'm going to go backpacking, and then disappears.
Next thing
we've all seen the true crime videos.
Next thing we see, Steve pulls all the teenagers together. He's in his Jeep and he's like, all right, y'all, I need you just to work. He's not even specific.
He's just like, do stuff.
He's not specific. And
I'll be back before, like a little bit after lunch. I'm gonna go fuck off to town.
He says, as the only adult there. And barely an adult.
Yeah, because he's
just older than these kids.
Like 27 at the youngest.
That's what I'm saying. And he's like, I'm going to fuck off work.
I'll be back. Got this, right?
And they're like, yeah, of course.
Yeah, we're fine.
This is the point where we finally see, like, again, this is our full crew minus Annie, but she's gone.
Yeah,
I mean, we've not seen it, but she's
about to die.
We don't need to worry about her.
As soon as Steve leaves, we get the whole like,
because it's
the double Jeep thing.
Yes, sets up our twist.
Yeah, our red herring, because we're supposed to think Steve's the killer for a while,
for at least a little bit.
Yeah, for like at least until you see him at the diner, and you're like, well, it's definitely not fucking Steve.
But so now that we've got all of our campers, like I said, this is probably a good point. We can throw our guesses at what everybody's doing, right?
Yeah.
So we've already established that Alice is his assistant of some sort. Then Brenda, nurse, first aid.
Yeah, I feel like that works.
Ned, obviously archery.
Yeah, because he doesn't hit Brenda with the fucking arrow he shoots at her,
despite being super fucking reckless.
Don't ever do that.
Yeah, no. but archery and maybe like acting.
I guess
He seems like the kind of guy, right? He's always cracking the jokes. He does the imitations of people and stuff.
Humphrey Bogart,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know. You're
So
awful pretty when you're angry, sweetheart.
so maybe some kind of drama club for the camp.
Maybe
or something.
him and Marcy, because
Yes,
Marcy does
she
the
yeah,
Catherine
she does
Hepburn
too.
all
That's
the time.
right. So maybe that's what they're doing. Bill is just custodian. I don't think he's with the kids.
Yeah, I think he
doesn't strike me as a guy who's working
he's
with the kids.
He just keeps shit running.
Right? He literally doesn't strike.
What the fuck does Bacon do?
So this is
Swimming?
I'll bring this up because it gets really weird too with what we think about Bill already, and then whatever Jack as Kevin Bacon is doing too. I definitely think he's working with kids. He's cool. He's the like you want the cool kid to work.
Yeah, he's like the cool older brother.
So the kids are gonna love him. He's gonna be something with them. Maybe like the host MC, the one that's always the one that directly talks to the kids.
Leads the shit.
Maybe that's his. I could see that being his role, right?
Yeah. Especially since he's like the best actor in the entire group.
100%, definitely helps
for being one of his like first roles. Like he's definitely the most natural actor of the entire group.
So what else is Marcy doing other than drama? Because obviously now we know that she's splitting drama with Ned.
Art? She seems artsy.
Maybe
they're doing crafts.
Yeah.
She's the crafts.
She's all around the
supervisor.
arts, so it includes
the
the
art
drama
department.
and painting and stuff. I get it. I can see that. That's it.
I
That's
like it,
everybody.
yeah.
That's the. I mean,
I was gonna say, is there
we got no
anybody
way
else? I
left.
don't
Nope,
think so.
that's it. Annie was going to cook, so unless she was going to teach a class and cook, but we don't know enough of her personality to know that anyway.
Yeah,
we don't see enough of her. Well, all right. I like that.
yeah,
I like that
do
rundown.
too.
I agree with it.
But what do they do as soon as fucking Steve leaves?
Well, like you said,
They
Steve-
just go swimming.
Well, they go
They're
swimming.
just like, fuck him. We're gonna go hang out on the lake and swim and shit for a little while.
But like, I want to make sure we spend that time to really say this with the Jeep, because
With the Jeep.
they point out his Jeep.
It's very specific. It's
green. It's like-
almost army colored.
Yes,
Jeep.
very specific. We're gonna see this a lot from here on out
Because
his has a trailer.
Yeah, but we're gonna see the exact same Jeep pick up fucking Annie here in a minute, right?
Yeah, and we see that before we see them on the water because they want to set up for us like maybe they were working,
it
right?
Might be
Maybe they did what they were supposed to.
right. No.
So they're gonna give us a little bit of time to not think about them for a minute, right? The first thing before we see them on the water is like when we see them we see a little bit of stuff. It's like we saw Ned at the archery range, like we already mentioned.
He
and him
shoots
being
it right into
reckless,
like
yeah.
an asshole.
Those happen first. Then we see the whole thing with Annie and the Jeep. So
I'll give her credit, dude. Like when the Jeep drives past the turnoff for Camp Crystal Lake, she immediately is like, "All right, fuck this," and head dives out of this fucking thing at like 40 miles an hour. She's like, "Fuck this." I mean, she did get in just as easy, but as soon as she knew something was up, she jumped right the fuck out.
The beginning part of her with the Jeep was absolutely crazy. Like I just wanted to talk about that because
But it doesn't make sense
it pulls
until you
past
watch
her.
the whole movie.
Well, I'm just saying it pulls past her. You think
it's supposed to be Steve. You think right?
You think it's supposed to be Steve. We know it no matter what. It's somebody non-threatening, right? Like that's the bigger
Voorhees,
part,
really.
because she definitely gets in. It almost hits her when it goes to pull over in the first place. She still gets in. She gets in. She starts talking to her about the kids.
I hate that they call them kids. It makes them seem like they're little goats.
That's why they say it. She's so stupid. Like it's one of those things where that's why we say it.
Yeah.
We say it because if you get enough of them in a room,
That's exactly how they act.
and it's what they sound like.
yeah.
A bunch of screaming.
Oh fuck.
And so, no, Annie, you're wrong. Maybe you don't need to work with a bunch of kids.
She just has never done it and has
Yeah.
a super glorified like vision of what it's gonna be like.
But now, like you're saying, after that little bit in the Jeep, she then gets an inkling that things aren't right.
Yeah, because he drives right past the turnoff. She's like, "Wait a minute, what
I need to go back there." Dives out, which was great. I'll give you, like you were trying to say, she gets credit for the diving out.
just not screaming in the fucking Jeep.
Now her problem is timing, right? Because she couldn't have seen it coming. They were going pretty fast.
Yeah.
But she does dive out
Lands
onto the biggest
fucking
stone
rock
on
ever.
the side of the road I've ever
This
seen.
giant boulder just head first smacks onto it.
Well, in her shoulder, like I think she like dislocated something.
She's fucked
She's
up trying to
limping
run.
down the And this is again, we want to talk about all the things that
This is our first
this one
official
started.
kill.
Right, this started the franchise. This is our first. This is our first slow run.
Yeah, because she's
in
running
the
her ass
forest.
off, and he's just kind of
There.
The killer is casually.
We can leave this non-determinate on their sex, right? Again, we know the truth. We know who it is, guys. It's just sometimes fun to talk that way,
right? Let's just suspend. Let's act like we don't know who it is.
But yeah,
because it's clearly a man in the shot.
Oh, definitely.
When you see these things, it's clearly a dude.
100%. On top of the we also get the dun 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 dun, which is like it's like the psycho stab sounds. Right?
Like Alfred Hitchcock knew when he made that movie, he would have that effect on the rest of the world
forever. We get to see now the person is in a flannel. They've got a hunting knife on their belt
and a shirt.
Who else do we know with a hunting knife on their belt? Drives a green Jeep.
Steve.
He was not, however, wearing flannel.
Bill does, though.
Yes. So it gets
It's almost the exact same shirt.
So it gets a little murky at this point. That's all.
Bill or Steve?
Oh wait, was Steve? I don't remember what he was wearing when he was at the diner, because I always just think of him
in the yellow raincoat
or in this never naked, never nude
or bandana.
Yeah. So I mean, I actually don't know if he was wearing flannel in that one random scene. So maybe not. Maybe
I can't remember. I don't think he was.
But yes, we are definitely meant to think that this is either Steve or Bill. Those are our two people that were all movie long hinted at back and forth on who this might be. The cut on the neck, we've already mentioned this. I wanted to get more into it right now because, like I said, if you watch this, it's so wild, right? Because, like you were saying, like we're seeing it POV from their point of view first, right? So we see the hand come back, we see the blade swing, but then mid-swing, they do a thing where we switch to like her POV,
right?
So and so then you
the knife coming.
This is what I'm saying. If you really line all this up, there's no way that's the same. There's no way that's the same. Again, I'll give them. And if we lived in today with some of the ways we could eat smooth out, that would look so much like I love the vision of what they wanted it to look like, right?
The one later with Marcy's
looks
worse. With the axe.
Yes,
that one's worse.
It's way worse.
This one's pretty bad where it's like
none of it works. That's what I was going to say.
Because he's doing like a downward slash, but then the knife cut goes up across her fucking neck.
Well, this is what I'm saying. I love the vision. Yes. I love what they wanted.
It looks sick when it opens up and then.
Well, I mean, even just like what they wanted it to be. I can see it. I understand like the effect. Again, like we both said, we understand. Like it's POV from both POVs and it's sliding in between. They just didn't have the camera
to do it
at the time, or the editing bay, or something.
Something happened.
Because again, in the 80s, you could still do stuff like that. They just didn't. They did not have this.
I think it's why in the theatrical version, if you watch it, just cuts to like kind of a white.
Well, I mean, yeah, probably because it's just to help. It's just to help maybe not make it look
as jank, but like in the director's cut, you get the actual slash part.
It's very again, it's almost jarring the way it like slides in between them. I do love the intention, right? I guess that's the word to use, right? The intention behind what they wanted it to be. Because you can tell how cool today's standards with today's cameras could make it work.
Oh, yeah, dude. It'd be seamless right now. This was back when you still had to physically cut film and shit.
Now is when we get to cut back to kids goofing off at the lake.
Having a good time.
What you would expect a bunch of teenagers to do.
Boss is gone. We're going to smoke some weed and go swimming.
No, we don't know that yet.
Oh, is the weed not showing up yet?
I think the first time we see it is at night. We just see a lot of it once they finally bring it in. Well, it's just like scene. Yeah.
Every time you turn around, somebody's
back to back.
Hey, you got any more weed? Yeah.
Let's
smoke this joint.
Right now, I don't think anybody's even brought it up. They're just hanging out in the water.
And Ned decides to like fake his fucking death.
Actually, Ned and Brenda are the only ones in the water.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Everybody else
are just kind of sunbathing and shit.
Well, and if you even pay attention after it's done, because I mean nothing really happens here. It's just a bunch of teenagers goofing off, right?
Ned fakes a drowning.
That's what I was gonna say. Once we get to the Ned faking his drowning part, even once we get there. The only person that gets in the water is Brenda. Brenda dives in for him.
No, Kevin Bacon does too.
Oh, that's right. But everybody, you get what I mean? Though, like most of the people stay dry.
He pulls
They're
the
at
squints.
a lake.
They pull him out of the water, and he totally kisses Brenda and shit. It was all just to work.
It's the
He
squints.
pulls the squints.
It did not, however, work.
No, they're all pissed off at him.
He is fucking shit up with Brenda left and right, right?
He's trying way too hard.
Well, he's just so used to being a third wheel because his friends are Marcy and Jack, and they're already a couple, right? But he is trying so hard. Yeah, so Ned pulled a squint. Now, here's the part where it gets really timey-wimey for us, though, right? Did Ned pull a squints? Like, I know pop culture-wise we wouldn't say that because squints happened way after. But in the timelines of both movies, Squints was in the 50s.
That's true. So he...
Or the 60s. But you know what I'm saying?
60s,
like,
50s, yeah.
So, like, Squints happened first.
He did it first. He's the OG.
So do we say Ned pulled a Squints?
Yeah, I think we do.
Or Squints pulled a Ned? It all depends on your viewpoint, right?
Well, this takes place in 1980. So I'm going to give it, he pulled a Squints. Squints is the OG.
I like
Squints
it too.
forever.
I mean, I definitely in my notes wrote it as
That's
Ned
what I
pulled
did
a Squints.
too.
I didn't write. I didn't say it the other way around. You know, I wasn't like
you can't say it the other way around.
So again, I agree with you. I'm just saying, like technically, it's timey-wimey. It's a little
really
weird.
is.
It's a little weird because
It's a bit
again,
wibbly wobbly, isn't it?
Definitely. After though we see this scene and we know that he is just fucking it up with fucking Brenda left and right.
Trying too hard, man.
We get to see. This goes back to our job real quick though. So I guess maybe Brenda and Jack are lifeguards.
Yeah, swim
on the side
and
too.
shit.
Yeah.
You'd have to have multiple.
Oh, for
things.
a summer camp like this
you
with as
definitely
few
have to
people
do
as we see,
multiple jobs.
definitely. Yeah. Sorry, that was a little off topic. But I just thought
After
about
all the shit I've done off topic, you're allowed.
This scene cuts into the harmless little black snake moment.
Yeah, that bothered me. I was
This
like, it's
was-
not gonna hurt you. You
Well, and
can
this is-
literally pick it up.
100% a fluff scene, right?
Yeah.
We don't learn anything important. We don't
it's
get
just
anything of
there's a
value
snake
from
in
this.
Alice's room.
It doesn't matter any of what we saw happen.
This is definitely before the fucking animal rights people got a hold of movies. They kill that snake.
Well, and my biggest problem with the whole thing is like how nuts they all reacted to it, right? Like this scene was pandemonium and it didn't need to be.
no.
There's so much screaming. There's probably more
Kevin
screaming.
Bacon breaks the
Yeah,
bed.
Dude. Well, and like there's the moment where like either he punches Ned or Ned hits him or Bill
something-
gets knocked. Did you see it? Like someone literally
Somebody
gets like
takes an elbow. I
full
remember,
knock
yeah.
into them just because they're in the standing there. I was like, what is even going on with all of you people right now?
They killed his poor snake though.
They did.
The poor snake.
It didn't do anything to nobody.
No,
It was helping him. It was helping him. It was
Yeah.
probably catching mice.
It really was because we have those down here. It's just a black snake.
It's a black snake. That's why I said that's a garden snake,
Yeah,
guys.
that's not gonna hurt you at all. You could have picked it up by the head, threw it out the door.
If it bites you, it probably can't. Again, it's one of those snakes that suffers from the fact that unless it's a big one, its mouth isn't.
It might hurt.
Well, it would hurt, but again, it can't open up big enough to get a good pinch on you. So like at best you're getting is like a
unless it gets your finger.
yeah.
You're pretty
So at best
okay.
you're just getting like a scratch
Yeah,
from the
like a
teeth. You're
nip.
not really getting like a full on.
Your dog
pierce.
can bite you.
Yeah,
worse.
You're not likely to get a full pierce from this snake, especially the one we see in the movie.
No,
That
it's
thing was tiny.
It was like a foot long.
Its mouth, its whole head was like quarter sized, if that. It was a little bitty
I
thing.
felt so bad.
We've definitely shown our countryside now. I
Yeah,
think
we
can
have.
stop.
How
think
country are we? I knew that snake by looking at him.
I think we definitely.
There
can
wasn't no copperhead or nothing.
Yeah.
You ain't got nothing
They
to
were
worry about.
safe. Silly
You'd have been
kids.
fine. Ain't no water moccasin.
We need to go ahead and move on because this next one is my favorite.
Okay.
When the cop shows up.
Oh, dude, I love this cop. What you been smoking, boy?
Well,
Columbia
in all
Gold?
fairness, he has valid for asking every
I bet
question.
you bacon smelled like weed.
Well, that's not even why he's valid to ask.
oh
him
yeah,
that.
because Ned's
Ned
dressed
rolls
like a Native
out first thing
American.
screaming, wearing like half. He's like
diaper?
half naked,
He like took a t-shirt and made a diaper. And
full
he's got
Native
a
American
chief
headset.
headdress
Yeah,
and shit.
it's. I mean, the cop has every right to ask every question he has. Part of the reason I love this scene is that tell me his costume didn't feel like a stripper costume.
It really did.
It didn't look real.
No, the bike is just a regular blue motorcycle.
The
They
helmet,
put
the
a
way it
sticker
sat on his head, I was
Yes.
like, that's fake.
That's fake as fuck.
I was like,
you're waiting for the boombox to come out.
Yes, dude. I was like, this is so outrageous. I feel so bad for whoever was in charge of that.
Ladies, get your ones. He's about to start dancing.
And he is the uncoolest of the uncool cops you have ever seen. Again, I already said he had every right to think whatever he thought.
To think they're smoking
but the way
weed.
he acted about everything, even the non-weed related shit, I was just like, dude, you're chill.
Calm the fuck down.
You rolled up to the campground they work at.
And they are clearly just counselors.
What are you doing? Yeah, because he acted like they were like
trespassing.
And it's like, dude, you're not even talking to the owner and you're acting like they're trespassing. What are you doing?
And all he was doing was looking for Ralph. Right?
Looking for Ralph, the crazy man.
The crazy old man.
We've seen him once, but he's a recurring character. I hate that I forgot to mention him earlier. Ralph,
don't go to the camp. You're all doomed.
Ralph is my favorite because they even like make another version of Ralph for 2. They bring back the crazy
guy. The second one though, that made me upset. I was like, no, don't kill Ralph.
Don't kill the crazy man.
Yeah, it's not his fault. He gets to drink and start spitting his gospel, right?
I love Ralph.
Ralph's the fucking man, and you know that was just some guy in town. Right?
Yes,
like, hey, you want to be in this movie? Be nuts.
Yeah, Ralph. He's just there to try to find Ralph. He can't find him. Then he gets the call, right? He gets on the radio.
Did you notice Kevin Bacon went to answer the radio when the call came in? It's like, what are you doing?
Well, everything Kevin Bacon did during the scene, Jack is just there to antagonize the cop. If you watch him, if you listen to him, everything is meant to push every button, and I'm here for it. Maybe not that character. I thought it was a little weird for him. Ned, I totally should have done it.
Ned just shuts down because he's like, watch it, Cochise.
Yeah, I was just like, man, but that should have been when Ned like lit up.
Yeah,
right?
He should have been the guy doing this shit.
But yeah, I love this. But yeah, the cop is just, he finds out, and then again, to prove our point that he doesn't feel like a real cop, it's like a dirt bike. He hops on it and he peels out of there just like the kid in fucking the Bad News Bears. Did he not?
Yeah. But did you see when he first went to go do his little turn? He almost rolled the thing over and fucked it up, but he caught it at the last second.
Well, because he was trying to like drift the tail in, and that thing's not built for that, dude. No. That thing it's not that type of bike.
It's like a interstate cruiser.
Despite sounding like a dirt bike, it is not actually a dirt bike. It just has a small 4-stroke engine in it or something. You know, it's just tiny.
Yeah, it's like a Honda.
Yeah. But yeah, this thing was so fun. Like I said, everything about the cop. It's one of my favorite.
It's most low budget cop in film ever.
One of my favorite scenes in the movie.
It's awesome.
It's so funny. Like it is the like.
I like him going through the different names for weed. He's like Colombian gold, pot, reefer, hash. You dig?
You know, both of the last movies we did are definitely like walking the line of like horror comedy, right?
Yeah.
This one is not. This is the moment in the movie that's like true brevity, like just true like let's laugh.
Gotta have like a laughter moment.
This is the moment that was just truly like all.
It's all gonna be dark from this point on. Might as well have a light point.
Yeah, it is absolutely one of my favorite parts.
Yeah, because the next scene immediately gets creepy because we're in the like the kitchen and Ralph is
hiding.
They were in the pantry.
They were wrong because they all told him like, no, Ralph's not here. Most of them were like, I don't even know who that is, and I was like, all of you guys just went straight to. None of you guys stopped in town. None of you guys have been in a town. Like if you've been in town, you've met Ralph. That's what I'm saying.
Whatever Enos was eating looked good.
I'm telling you right now, there's no way none of them knew Ralph.
Right, no way.
I don't buy that.
He stopped everybody as soon as they went. Like you're doomed.
But yeah, Ralph scares the hell out of Alice
because he's in the pantry.
Yes, he is. It's crazy. Well, and that's it. It's his favorite place to be in the movies.
It's just like
where he likes to go.
I don't want to hide in this cabinet.
But yeah, he then like makes his way outside quickly, jumps on his bike. The moment where I was like, you guys didn't know he was here. The cop didn't know he was here. That bike was sitting on a tree right in the middle of everything. And we all know that's Ralph's bike.
You don't notice it until like the second time you watch through it. But the bike is sitting there the whole time.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Again, you're right. I did not notice the first time. But the second time I paid attention, I was like, the cop is like standing by
it's
it
like
almost.
Right there. He should know that Ralph's bike.
Like, and he didn't even bring it up. Like
because he even says he's like every time he gets drunk, he spends a week in jail, and I spend the day in court, and blah blah blah. So he should. like, oh well, there's Ralph's bike. I should look for him. He's here somewhere.
Nope.
He's probably hiding in a cabinet.
Maybe the worst piece of continuity in the movie.
Then fuck this cop. He's the worst part of the movie. Then
no,
I completely I disagree.
No, my favorite scene.
I disagree.
That's fine.
Just on principle
that you do that. After the moment where they chase off Ralph, the power goes out, right?
Yeah, because they're cooking burgers.
Yes,
and shit, the light won't come on, and Kevin Bacon's just like, I know everything about generators.
Well, he doesn't. They make fun of him like that's what he said, but in all fairness, he was just being actually informative. He said, "Steve taught me how to do it."
Yeah,
that's a very valid thing to say when everybody else is like, "Man, the power's out. What are we gonna do?" And he goes,
"Well, Steve, generator. I
Steve
know
said
how to
there's
use.
a generator, and he taught me how to do it."
It's just Ned being pissy.
It is now, but my next problem with this is like we already established earlier. Bill's job is what?
Maintenance.
Bill has been there how long?
Way longer than Jack.
Why does Bill not know how to run the generator? Because Bill acts like he's never seen it.
Yeah, because
he walks into the room and says, "My uncle has one."
This is
just like that.
This is like the one we have.
Uncle.
Yeah,
he 100% says uncle. It's not his even. Because at least
which means you haven't even used it.
Yes.
You've just seen it.
That's what I'm saying. How? And I agree, though. I'm not even trying to say.
Shouldn't he have been the one trained? When did Kevin Bacon get trained on the generator?
They've been there for 6 hours.
Yeah,
and Steve's been gone for 2. Steve was only there for 2 of them.
Oh, that's just bad writing. This is the worst movie ever.
Well, I feel like all they needed to do to make it work is
just
flip
have
the
Bill
2 of
say
them.
it. Yeah,
if Bill said, "Steve taught me how,"
would have made more sense.
Do you think Kevin Bacon was like,
"I need more lines.
I'm the better actor"?
I'm the better actor. He probably was. My biggest.
We're writing our own Kevin Bacon lore right now. Again, I told you I love that man.
He's working against everybody behind the scenes. I need more screen time,
and I'm glad.
I die first, really,
and I'm glad for it.
Yeah.
I love the world that we have where Kevin Bacon is the one who came out of this, the biggest star.
The Kentucky Fried Universe. That's our canon right there.
Yeah, the generator thing does bother me, though. It bothered me when I watched it.
What bothers me in that scene is fucking Bill sitting there pattying out fucking hamburgers barehanded and doesn't wash his hands. Just leaves to go fix the fucking generator. That's unsanitary, brother.
Dude, it's the 80s.
No wonder everybody had like mad cow disease and shit back then. Wash your hands.
E. coli going through restaurants and shit. I mean, no shock here. What do you think was gonna happen? This was their meal. What about when the kids
No
were
wonder
there?
Brenda said burn them when they walked out. She wanted to make sure it killed those fucking germs off Bill's dirty ass.
She doesn't like charcoal burgers. She just wanted to be safe.
If you cook it to 200 degrees, it kills all the germs, right?
Once the day is saved by Jack and they've got limited
power, I guess.
We see Ned outside walking, feeling like the third wheel he is. Yeah, right? Like he hears
Kevin Bacon and Marcy are off fucking skipping through the tulips or whatever the fuck. This scene goes on forever.
Well, not even yet. First, we just get to see him. I want to focus on this because this is weird.
The last time we see Ned, really.
It is. Well, and it's really weird because he's like so depressed about third wheeling. He knows he's fucked his chances with Brenda.
Yeah.
Alice is with Bill or Steve.
We're not sure.
Ned's walking and he sees someone in this other cabin and we don't really get to see it, but I will 100% say it didn't look feminine.
We even know it's wearing a leather jacket. Yes. Did you see it?
And we even know it, which we never see again.
It's Tom Savini. I think it's Tom Savini because he's well known for wearing the leather jacket all the time. They were just like, hey, just go like walk into the cabin real quick.
Well, I'm not even worried about who it really was. I'm just worried about the implication because again, like it didn't look like a female.
No,
is my
it
point.
Didn't.
And even if we know that it's supposed to be Mrs. Voorhees.
They do everything they can to subvert that, don't they?
But so my point is like, Ned didn't see what looked like a woman. Why did he run up there like it was his lucky day?
Right? Like I'm like, fuck that, I'm leaving.
Exactly. But no, Ned runs.
He goes there. Hello.
Ned runs up like he just saw half naked Brenda in the window, and that's not at all what just happened.
He misses out on that. He wasn't there for the Monopoly game.
He died.
He died. He died immediately as soon as he walks in this room. That's the last time we
never see it. We don't know exactly what happened to him.
How many people die off screen in this movie? I didn't remember that when I was a kid.
Yeah. Well, because again, this movie does a lot of the stuff with the tension of it.
Yeah.
More so than it does the actual sighting of it. Now's when we get to see the stuff where you were talking about, like the fucking skipping through the tulips and talking.
It goes on for like 5 minutes. Fucking Marcy and Kevin Bacon just being like, oh, there's gonna be a storm.
No, between this scene itself and then the sex scene that we jump back and forth.
That's another fucking. No, so 15.
We'll talk about all of this at once. That way we don't got to worry about it. It doesn't even jump. It's not like a bad movie. It's not where it jumps
back
too much.
Forth.
Well, it does back and forth, but not a lot. It's just like 2 times. But the fact that the sex scene is going on through those couple of jumps is insane.
Yeah, it's unnecessary. We could have cut at least half of that.
No, we could cut half of that and half of the foot walking, the walking.
The walking. Like, we're gonna balance across this log.
Yes. Between these 2 things, with Jack and Marcy, we could definitely have cut like 15 minutes out of the movie.
Yeah,
100%. So we'll just knock this out real quick. Jack and Marcy, they're walking. They talk. They get done talking. Rain's coming soon. Start talking again. Dreams.
Yeah, she has weird dreams where like the rain turns to the sound of pebbles, and then it turns to blood, and then she wakes up, and Jack is like, "Hey, that's a weird dream. We should fuck."
All right, dude.
Pretty much what happens.
It is. I'm just saying, like, weird call, man. And then that's what happens.
I would have been like, I think you should talk to somebody about the whole blood rain dream thing.
Nope.
Maybe seek therapy.
Not at all.
Not at all. But it's on Kevin Bacon's mind.
Well, because he just wants to get the deed done.
He wants to do it with the Katharine Hepburn cosplayer.
Yeah. But so again, now that we established that that's what happens, we don't need to go back to them for the 15 minutes of movie that will be wasted on them
having sex,
or even the longer version of that conversation we just wrapped up for you. It all wastes too much time. While they're doing what they're doing, we've already established Ned's gone. Don't need to worry about him.
Poor guy.
But we can jump back to Alice, because that's where everybody else is. That's not those two
Alice,
fucking.
Bill, and Brenda are inside the main building.
And they're having a good time.
They're going to play some strip Monopoly, buddy.
Brenda is a risky woman.
Brenda brings it up. She's like, we're going to play Monopoly. And Alice immediately is like, I hate Monopoly.
She ran so fast when that bitch said strip. Did you see her? And then she was like, I mean, I guess we can play that.
Your tune changed real fucking quick.
I guess that's okay. Coy little Alice.
That's a good fucking spin on it, but my only problem with Brenda's rules is she community chest, you can't get any of your clothes back. I think you should. You should get one piece. It'll stretch the game out longer.
I have a problem with both that and what you just said, because the way it should work, if we're doing strip anything, or you've played strip poker, even if you win those...
I played strip chess before. That's fun.
Even if you win clothing back, you're not supposed to put it back on. So what the fuck does it even matter if you get it back for community chest? It's only supposed to be there for more gambling chips after you take it off. Fair. Right?
There's nothing to stop you from putting it back on.
That's just not usually how people play. My point is usually the way... And it's not even how they play.
No, it's not.
Because again, if you're using it as bargaining money, which is what they're saying, then at some point you could use it, you could buy it back, right? You could have a property and be like, trade me that back. But again, in poker, when you play strip poker, the idea is once it comes off, it is technically one of your chips. You have won a thing.
You got to put it back on the table.
But nobody, even if you win it back, most people aren't like...
Oh, so after a while you're betting with the other person's underwear. Well, that's weird.
You see what I'm saying? And so it definitely it makes it even stranger for Monopoly gets even weirder.
That is weird. Because strip chess is the superior version. You lose a piece of clothing. The pieces never come back.
That's very simple. That's very simple. I agree. I like your thought process here. Checkers, even if you can't play chess, checkers will work.
It's weird. I can't play checkers. I'm the worst checker player ever. Makes no fucking sense. You'd think that'd be the easier game than chess. I suck at it.
It is what it is, man. Some people just don't think about things like that. We could probably really wrap up that. That's really...
Yeah, they're just playing strip
again,
chess.
Since we're not jumping around.
And then it goes the back only to thing we Kevin Bacon.
Well, before we get back to Kevin Bacon, I think during all this, and if I'm wrong, it doesn't really matter, we get to see Steve the one time at the diner.
I think so.
Right?
Yeah.
And again, it doesn't matter at all when this happens, because the way Steve works is you don't even need to know
No.
in the story of the teenagers what the fuck is going on with Steve. So while they're doing all this, Steve has been gone all day.
Just hanging out at a diner?
I don't even know if he's been there all day, but he's been gone all day, and certainly at least the last 3 hours.
Right. It's dark now, and he's like, I'll be back a little after lunch.
Oh, no, this is definitely when it's going on, because the rain's going on. And he said he has to make it back because of the rain. So, yeah, I'm proud of myself. I was right.
He's a cheap bastard. You notice that shit? Fucking 75-cent tip on that poor lady. Fuck you,
Well,
man.
and she was even going to give it to him for free for
I
a
know,
second.
right? Goddamn.
Son of a bitch.
And he had a wad of cash. He could have gave her a fucking tip. Fuck Steve. Steve's the worst character in this movie.
The last thing, well, again, we can mention one more thing about Steve, and the last thing we'll mention is for like 15 minutes from now, and it's the best part because you want to talk about him
I want to talk to him ever again.
Right now, though, the last thing we see is Steve. He hops in his Jeep to get back, and once he starts driving, he does get stalled out and stuck.
Yeah,
and luckily a cop pulls up at the exact
same moment.
The thing I want to point out about this scene, one, his trailer is on the Jeep. That's key to remember because earlier, the Jeep that killed Annie, no trailer. He left with trailer. Still has trailer, in the middle, no trailer.
But you got to really be paying attention on the first view.
Oh, 100%. It's way easy just to be like, definitely was Steve. It's not. You can definitely,
They were trying really hard to get you to think it was.
The movie clearly shows you that it wasn't. But you got to pay more. It's more like the what 10 things are different type of thing, right? Like, I mean, you really got to be paying attention.
Here's your Where's Waldo moment.
My other problem with this is they left his Jeep
just on the side of the road.
With the trailer was like in the road. Did you see the way he was like pulled angled? What the fuck? That cop would never.
No, he would have been like, we got to get that out of the way. We got to call somebody.
Then the cop gets a call on the radio and does the same shit to Steve that Enos did to Annie and says, I got to drop you right here.
Get out.
In the rain.
I got like a 9-car pile up and shit.
In the rain.
He's got a raincoat. He's fine.
Oh.
But he seems like he's in pretty good shape because he is running later.
He's going to be out there all summer doing this. I mean, man's got to be. He's going to be all right.
He's going to make up them 10 miles pretty quick.
And then that's the last we see of him. I love that every time someone gets dropped off for the rest of this 10-mile hike, we just never. They're just like, we'll see him one more time.
We'll
but again,
see him
like
when
we don't know about the hike, right? Like that's never
completely uneventful.
I guess
there was an owl.
We just get to know that their last like hour of their life was spent.
No, there we go. There's the movie right there. Just give me a 30-minute movie of like what happened to Steve while he was
Annie during the 10
miles. It's a whole other thing. They fought like a demon and shit and survived, and then just walk into Mrs. Voorhees and get stabbed.
Now, though, after wrapping up with Steve, like I said, we won't even need to worry about him. We've taken care of everything of him for a long time.
Yeah.
The next thing I think we can address is going back to Kevin Bacon.
Go back to
Jack and Marcy. Jack and Marcy, they finished what they're doing. Oh, wait. We also have to mention, because you wanted to talk about this, while playing Strip Monopoly, they mentioned weed the first time. That's the first time in the movie they mentioned it.
Like, hey, did Marcy leave her that grass around? Shit,
the way they hit that, too, was hard. Did Marcy leave any of that grass?
So you know what I'm talking about. Just to make sure you caught it. Grass.
But yeah, that was the first time. We know it's Marcy's. Now we get to cut to Jack and Marcy.
She fucks off to go piss
and
or
watch
something,
Jack
and he just immediately pulls out the joint.
Because it's Marcy's. You can even, if you look,
she brought all the weed.
Did you look on the table? The
nightstand. There's like a bag of it.
You can see it on the nightstand. I was like, nice touch.
Right.
Nice touch. Yeah, he starts smoking.
Marcy's the hookup.
He starts smoking, and I was like, damn. You're fucking up.
Yep.
This is one of the rules. This is before they knew it was a rule. It's before they knew it was one of the rules.
Yep. You can't smoke weed. You can't have sex.
And he
don't drink.
He done messed up on both of those.
Yeah,
he did two of them. He did two of them at the same time, essentially, right?
What did Ned fucking do?
Look, some people just get caught.
They're just collateral damage.
They just get caught up in it, man.
As far as I know, Ned didn't break any of the rules.
Usually the first person is that person in most of these movies.
That's right. They're just the random, unfortunate.
But yeah, so we see him. He's thinking everything's fine. He's almost even like half falling asleep because Marcy has to go pee, and it's just him.
Yeah.
Smoke. He's
drip.
He's like, what the hell is that?
Red.
What is that?
Before he can even like register that it's blood, fucking hand from under the bed grabs him, and then the fucking iconic arrow.
He never gets to see. Like we
he
saw
even
as
make a noise.
Well, not even that. I don't even. He never saw that coming, but he never even knew that Ned was dead above.
Right?
Them.
He's just like,
we
what's
as
this
the
red
viewer
thing?
got to see it, but him, he never knew.
Nope.
He just thought he had a sweet time boning. He didn't know he was boning underneath the corpse of his best friend, which I guess is maybe good.
I
maybe
guess
it's good he didn't
Ned
know
finally
that.
got to be part of it.
Oh, his third wheeling finally paid off.
Did.
I never thought about that. That's such a positive thing, Bo.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, good for me.
I'm
glad I thought of that.
I guess it's something. This though, we see at this point we get a look at Marcy in the bathroom, right? Poor Marcy.
Poor fucking. She has the worst facial expression before she dies, though. Did you notice this weird ass cut?
Yes. Well, I hate everything about this bathroom scene because I don't know about you, but I've been to campgrounds like this, and like those bathrooms are like freaky as fuck in the best of circumstances.
Even if they're not like purposefully done up to be creepy
night,
like this one.
It's going to be creepy, right?
No
This is
what.
at night with the power flickering and the storm going. And this bitch just was normal and
just
calm.
hanging out.
She's
making
ballsy.
her little Katharine Hepburn impressions.
She
in
drops
the window.
underneath the sink.
It wasn't working.
I get it, but goddamn, like again, like I would have been too scared to be like,
I'm
gonna have
gonna
my head
piss
underneath
and
the
leave.
sink. Yeah,
piss and leave. That's exactly all I'm doing in here.
And she makes it for a lot longer than I kept thinking. Right, like I kept thinking she was about to die, and then she was about to die, and then she was about to die.
This is another one of those like we got to pad out. Time
again, like she almost makes it out of the bathroom. That's how long the fucking scene goes on. But then finally we get the beautiful. I love this scene. Fucking axe hits the light. Light starts swinging. Dude, I love that. I love the look. You even see if you watch it. Do you see? You can even watch that the light casing has dented.
A dent in it.
Dude, and again, I know, like, we're both, like, going off about that. It's because now we live in a world where nobody does anything for real. These people really bashed a fucking light
and magically didn't break the bulb
and caught it on camera.
There was, how many takes you think? How many bulbs you think they went through?
I don't know. I'd like to believe that's it.
The first take?
I'd like to believe
take
that's
one.
all, like, what we saw is it.
Nice. But they had to have a little weird cut of her screaming before they axe her, so it's really jarring.
Well, it was almost a throwback, like we already said earlier. It's a throwback to the weird, like, let's cut from view to view. And again, respect for the vision.
Beautiful makeup, though. When
respect
the
for the vision, not respect for how well they were able to pull it off. Respect for the vision.
It's mostly her face. She's just like,
yeah, so she totally gets axed.
To the fucking eye, dude. It's like right in her eye.
We get to go back to our Monopoly players.
And it looks like Alice is winning because she has like all of her fucking clothes on. The rest of them are in her underwear.
Well, we've cut back and forth. Like we said, we stopped with our cuts.
Yeah.
First, we see where Bill and Alice think that they're being taken by Brenda, right? They're like, oh, she's
clearly knowing how to roll these dice or something.
But I would venture to tell you that it was Brenda and Alice pulling one over on Billy.
Because he's half naked by the time this happens.
And then all of a sudden, though, he gets the upper hand, and that's where we're coming back to, where he's like, oh, take off your top. He fucking rolls again. It's Alice's turn. Take off your top. And she's like,
she's starting to do it, and gets saved by the wind.
Yeah, well, the rain hitting too hard, because then that's what reminds Brenda,
fuck, I left my windows in my cabin open.
I need to go. You guys, we're calling this. If I'm running through this rain, I'm staying.
Yeah, I'm
not coming back here. So everybody's like, all right.
Good.
Bill throws out the line to Alice. You really gonna do it?
I don't know yet.
Hadn't made up my mind. Whatever, bitch. I watched.
Yeah, you were taking
that
it
was
off.
Seconds from being gone. But
she hadn't been for the door.
She gets to keep the wholesome, holy
girl next door.
Why
image.
she survives?
Yeah,
right. She didn't break the rules.
She didn't. She didn't break the rules. She doesn't have sex.
We don't see. They brought up the weed.
She doesn't actually
we don't
smoke
see
it
them.
ever, does she?
We don't see any of them there. We only hear them bring it up. We don't see the people in the Monopoly group smoking.
I don't even think she has a beer in front of her, does she?
No. So she
I
follows
watched it
the
like
rules.
4 times. You think I'd notice?
She follows the rules, man. She follows the rules. Our next one, though, to get up and deal with the consequences here, Brenda.
Yeah.
Poor Brenda.
They have a good fake out where she goes to the bathroom.
I know,
no.
I thought
she's gonna die.
But here's my point. This is what I want to say to you. I thought the same thing. I was like, oh, fake out. Oh, I think actually Brenda set up her own demise by stopping at the bathroom. I think Mrs. Voorhees, or I think the stalker, the killer, whatever, was there still because she thought she heard the sound and stuff.
Yeah.
And that by going there, she drew the attention to herself, and then she followed her back to the cabin.
Yeah, probably because she was clearly still in the middle of hiding Marcy's body when she showed up.
Well, and if the next thing you were gonna do was just like go for the next kill, right? And there were a group of people in a cabin, or 2 people in a cabin, or the lights were on in that cabin.
Yeah.
You'd go to that one, but Brenda showed up
and is like, well, you're my next target. So she decided to conveniently.
So again,
be
like
here.
even though it was a fake out by going there, and we thought it was going to happen in the bathroom, I feel like going to the bathroom is still what led to her demise.
Yeah, probably. But this one's creepy, where she's like in her room and she hears the voice from outside.
This is the thing. Like I've already said, this is the thing that scared the piss out of me as a kid. This little boy.
You really don't like Mrs. Voorhees' little boy voice, do you?
This scared. Well, again, it was just the age, dude. I was 7, and it was, dude.
It was a really good little kid voice.
Well, and the first time, it's not even that I knew it was hers. You know what I'm saying? Like it scared me because it was just fucking creepy.
Help me.
Yes, and she runs out into the fucking woods, and she's pulling the bat shit, like yelling into the void.
Right. She's getting callbacks, like, please, over here.
And she's yelling so loud that even fucking Alice is like, I'm pretty sure I heard fucking Brenda out there.
I'm pretty sure I heard it. And the lights at the archery range came on. She's tells Bill.
Yeah, when she tells Bill, yep.
Because there's another kill we don't get to actually see on camera.
Yeah.
Brenda goes and gets killed over at the archery range, but it's just the lights come on and she screams.
Well, the lights come on. Well, technically, it's like the lights come on, she looks around, and then right when the lights flip off again,
she screams. Like, I remembered it different from when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I swear she gets pelted with arrows.
That's in 3, and it's not a girl, it's a guy.
See, I got them mixed up.
And 3 is definitely making the nod to this one about the archery thing.
See, you mix them together.
The reason 3 does it is because, like all 80s horror movies, 3 is in 3D. And so the arrow is the 3D trick. It comes at the camera.
Comes right at you.
Yes.
My favorite is the dude in the beginning with the stick. It's just poking it at the camera.
I love a good 3D gag.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, so before we get off topic too much, but yeah, that the archery range does come back, and I feel like it was because they knew people wanted the payoff.
Yeah, because
we had what we thought was foreshadowing earlier.
Yeah, because
the arrow that flew by her. Yes. So we all wanted it.
They started to, and then they just cut it to black and go back into the cabin with Bill and Alice Anderson.
But so yeah, we never get to we don't get our payoff here. She dies off camera. We cut back to Bill and Alice, and she is starting to freak out because she heard the voices. She saw the lights. She's like, "We got to do something.
We gotta go
don't know what's going on. Fucking help me. I saw the lights on." He looks, the lights are off. I don't know what you're talking about.
Let's go check.
This was nuts, right? They get to the cabin. Nothing's out of place. Fucking Bill sees the bloody
axe.
Is it bloody?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
No, there's blood on the pillow.
On the pillow. The axe itself isn't bloody. That's right. That's right.
Shiny.
That's right.
I was very specific with the question I asked you. I knew what I was trying to get to.
It's just on the pillow.
It is on a bloody pillow that she didn't die on, but the axe is clean.
It wiped it on the pillow and put it back?
There would be smears, dude. Come on now. We live in the real world.
I'm trying.
It wouldn't bother me so much, but again, like we've already established, this is the grounded one. This is the one that's like not
legitimate,
crazy.
like not supernatural fucking.
This should be real.
Movie.
We should be seeing real things. This is. We see a few more from here on.
Yeah.
But this is like the first one where 100% you're just like, well, that takes me out of that being
right.
What happened?
This shiny, clean axe with the like outline of blood, just like around the outline of it.
Yeah, right. And totally 100%.
They put the axe on the pillow and went squirt with the fake blood.
I will give both of them credit.
Yeah, they're like, we got to go call somebody.
Well, but they're neither one of them are as startled as they should be for tons of missing friends
and a bloody axe.
I'll even let it slide that it's not actually bloody. I'll give credit for what we're supposed to think happened there. Bloody axe. They see bloody axe and missing friends, and neither one of them are like freaked out
and panicking. They're just more about like, what's going on?
We should handle this.
We should call someone.
Right?
It's not until after they see the phone isn't working.
Well, we can't. We're gonna jump past my favorite part.
It's very important.
This proves that she's final girl material. Finally, right?
Yeah, because up to this point, she's just been kind of
she's like school marm. She's not like someone you can believe is like making
Bill's
it to the end.
Supposed to be the hero, right? Because that's how he's acting, right?
But again, they want us to think he might have done it.
That's what's we're supposed to think like here in like 10 minutes the twist is going to be. He's been acting like the hero, but I'm really the killer.
But so this is when we get her turn to show maybe she is a little bit more than what we've seen,
because the door to the building's locked,
and Bill is even like, well, I guess we're fucked.
We're fucked. I don't know what to do, even though you could literally kick that door open.
She literally just goes, give me a second, walks over, grabs up this fucking log, dude, and says, breaks the window, the glass, dude, shoves her arm straight in.
Right.
I was like, this bitch ain't afraid, and she knew what to do.
That's the clue. That's where like, oh, she's gonna be the bitch who survives.
Exactly. Again, this is even before Final Girl
is a thing. Yeah,
like this is literally her.
It's like her and Laurie Strode.
Yeah,
that's it. These two.
I'll give massive credit to that. But yeah, like you said, once they get inside, they realize no phones.
It even cuts across, like the shot goes across the building with the wire, and it's cut. So Mrs. Voorhees is smart.
And you see them. It's so funny because you see them run through the office, like one phone to another, and I was like, God, it's the 80s, but we all understand how a line works.
They're all go to the same one.
It's the same. Like if it doesn't work, it doesn't.
They're like,
work.
try the payphone. Right? You got a quarter?
Yeah. But yeah, so once they realize phones are no good, they're like, well, now we need to leave.
They try Ned's truck, right?
Dude, this was the funniest thing to me, because they try his truck, it doesn't start. They lift the hood, right? And she says, what's wrong?
He goes, wet.
It's wet. And I was like, of course it is, you fuck. You just
That's not how engines work, by the way.
Unless I know
you, pulled it out of the water.
But the funniest part is because it's his fault. He opened it and he goes, it's wet. He did follow it up with, I don't know.
Thank God. Don't leave it at it's just wet. What I think happened is Mrs. Voorhees went and stole the distributor cap off that fucking old ass Chevy.
Yeah. And then they realize, or they think to themselves, "Oh, it's okay.
Steve will be back soon,
and we'll be able to use his Jeep. We can leave. So we just got to stay here, find some place out of the rain, and just wait this all out.
It's gonna be fine.
It's good."
Fucking generator goes out.
Yep, man.
And Bill's like, "I'll go look at it. You take a nap." Right? That was like, you go to sleep, Miss Alice.
I can't believe she fell asleep.
Right,
either.
After the bloody axe and
the fact that he said it.
She actually does it. That's the weirdest thing. Like, I get him being like, you need to like maybe
my
rest.
Anxiety would never.
Fuck no.
Let that happen.
I'm pacing. I am frantically walking back and forth.
Like, even once I know what's happened to people, my anxiety level was so high, I'm still not sleeping.
Yeah.
Right?
No way.
Even if people were okay.
You're right. If they were fine, I'm still not doing it.
My anxiety level was just so high. It's not lowering yet.
No.
Yeah. I agree. I was like, there's no way this bitch just fell asleep.
Immediately, too. Just as soon as he walks out the door, she's out.
And then Steve goes to the generator room, and he proves our point about, is he the maintenance guy? Because
he knows all this shit.
No, he doesn't. You say no. I'm saying he doesn't know anything. He grabbed a fucking plank and said, let me shove this in the gas tank.
That's how you check to see if there's gas in it. You ever done that?
It's a giant tank. You knock on it, dude. You can hear.
He doesn't know that trick. Maybe.
I'm saying what you don't do, though, is take a half-rotted plank of wood and that could leave particulates that get clogged in the machine.
That's what the fuel filter's for. Don't worry about it.
But do you think this? Did you? Hey, first off, I believe you, but did that thing look like it had a filter?
It's the same generator from 1958. It ain't
got
no fuel filter.
That thing doesn't look like it had a filter anywhere.
It's got a rag duct tape.
But my point is, this guy doesn't look like he understands any of that.
No.
So that's what I'm saying. You're trying to give him some credit, and I'm trying to say I think he proved that he didn't know how to use any of this.
I thought it was a good idea. I wouldn't have thought of the stick to check to see if there was gas in it.
Well,
I'm giving him too much
Would you have
credit.
knocked on it, though?
No, I would have tried to probably like shake the thing and
that
see
thing
if I
was
could
mounted.
see the...
You couldn't have done that.
Yeah, but that's how dumb I am with mechanical
Yeah,
shit.
I would have knocked on it to listen for the sound.
I would have been sitting there being like, trying to shake the fucking thing.
I
don't
will-
see water
look,
moving.
I do at least give him credit for not trying to hold the lantern
Yeah,
with
the
fire over top of the gas
the
tank.
fucking kerosene lantern over the gas can.
Because that would have been the only other option that would have happened. So
He would have killed himself.
yes,
Mrs. Voorhees wouldn't have to worry about it.
I will at least give him credit for not being that dumb, right? Like, I mean, he still wasn't the smartest in the
Damn sure
situation.
would have woke
For
Alice up, right?
For the guy who was supposed to be maintenance man, right? I expected a little bit more. That's all I'm saying. Kevin Bacon had him
Alice
beat
gets
by leaps and bounds.
shocked awake by an explosion. Boom.
But instead, she gets shocked awake by, I guess,
Nothing?
a bad dream.
I guess.
We don't even get to know because she doesn't tell us
Psychic
anything.
vision?
She yells, but well, they've all had these, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Like, it's funny because they all make fun of Ralph for saying this shit about prophetic visions. But then
they
the
all
one
kinda
bitch
have
had the
them.
one with the rain and the blood.
Yeah.
And now she's having this one where she woke up being like Billy, and we know for a fact Billy did die.
Yep, he's
We
dead. Again, off camera.
We never see him again. Well, we do.
We see his body.
He's dead. We don't see him alive again.
He's like tacked to the wall
Yeah.
with arrows.
Yeah, he got the death you wanted for Brenda.
Yeah, he did. Maybe I mixed them all together.
No, I'm telling you, you just mixed 1 and 3. We've
Yeah,
already
right.
established this. Yeah, so at this point though, she is now freaked out. She doesn't know what's going on, but she remembered, oh, he went to fix stuff. She makes coffee.
For fucking 3 minutes. I timed it. The coffee making scene goes on for... Yeah,
It takes
instant
30
coffee.
seconds to make instant coffee. Unless because they didn't show
she
us...
had to go get sugar.
But they didn't show us water boiling. Like, if they would have shown us that, I'd have been like, okay, 3 minutes. If they would have shown us start to finish,
Nope.
I would have even forgiven the 3 minutes.
We gotta
No,
watch
they
her.
cut to us when the water's ready.
And then she has to go get the cups, put the instant
It's too
coffee
much,
in it,
man. It's too
fuck
much.
around for a few seconds,
It's too much.
then go get sugar,
And then
come
not
back.
take a single sip.
She doesn't even put fucking water in it. She just puts sugar in the cup,
And then she's like, fuck, I need to
where's
look for...
Bill?
Oh my God. It's so stupid.
We needed the extra 3 minutes to hit runtime, I guess.
Did they, though? We already talked about the 15 minutes they padded earlier. I think
There's
they're
not
okay.
enough script. The's not enough script here. We got to do
I
something.
think they're
here,
okay.
fuck with the lanterns for 5 minutes, Bill.
Well, but like we said, at this point, at this point, we can go ahead and say it's already happened. Steve is dead.
Yes, Steve's dead.
He finally showed back up from his 10-mile hike.
Where he fought demons and saved the world. We don't know.
Or what have you. We need that movie.
We
Someone
do.
write it.
I want it.
But he showed up, literally, he sees the sign for Crystal Lake, and he's like, I'm
Awesome,
home.
I'm here.
As soon as he gets there, much like earlier, with the original counselors in the 50s, right? We can tell
He knows who this
He
is.
knows who this
'cause he's
is,
not scared.
he's
He's
not
like, oh,
threatened
hey,
at
what are you
all.
doing out here?
that's crazy, you're here.
Stab.
End of Steve.
Poor
No more
Steve.
Steve. Now we definitely know Steve isn't the killer.
Nope.
We could still think Bill's the killer.
'cause he's
we
just
didn't see
missing.
anything official yet.
He's just not in. He just hasn't come back from the generator.
But I think we all know.
it's
Well,
not
and not beyond the fact that we do all know. If we didn't, I think we would all know.
Yeah, it's
it was
probably
not
not
Bill, right?
We're all just like waiting to see Bill's body.
But at this
which
point,
we get.
this is the point where you know it's a twist ending, right? Because again, it's literally you never could have known.
No, there's
It's
no
a character
way.
that was never here,
never in the movie at
until
all.
this, right? So it's really great that they did this for us.
Right, because the Jeep pulls up and
Well,
Alice
yeah,
thinks,
Alice has been running around
and she like
trying to find Bill. Can't find him anywhere. And then the Jeep rolls up. She thinks it's Steve. You can tell.
Yeah,
you can
she's
tell
like,
she
oh,
thinks it's
Steve. And then she runs outside and it's fucking this old lady.
it's
And she's
Mrs.
like, who the hell are
Voorhees.
you?
Mrs. Voorhees.
And she's like, I'm Mrs. Voorhees. I used to work for the Christies. And then Alice
I'm a friend of the family.
Yeah, and Alice just breaks down. She's like, that he's dead, she's dead, they're all dead, everyone's dead, and they're gonna kill you too. Let's get out of here.
And Mrs. Voorhees, again, we know the truth.
Yeah.
But if you don't know the truth,
a badass old lady, right?
She sounds like the baddest bitch of them all.
I'm not afraid.
Let's go look.
Let's go have a look. You're just scared because of the storm. And she goes in the room and she sees fucking like Brenda dead.
Oh, we forgot even to mention that.
Oh, yeah.
Brenda got thrown through the window. Well, the main reason we didn't mention that right now is because the timing of this. The craziness for her to have gotten thrown through the window and then Mrs. Voorhees. Because we were talking about the couple of times where it doesn't seem like it could work.
Right.
This is the second one. Because the fact that she somehow threw Brenda through the window, made it to the Jeep, and then drove up casually.
She's spry for an old bitch.
It would have taken a lot.
she can hit them Usain Bolt fucking speeds, man. She's zoom.
But yeah, so this is the moment though when she's inside where the melodrama.
I love this. She's so melodramatic for exactly 10 seconds. It is the biggest overacting. You think it's going to be awful.
Well, it's because it's the best sell, right? Like it makes you think that you're getting a horrible actress, and then you realize it's the character. It's to set us up how insane she is. It's the psycho twist. It's like the moment you find out that it's a man, that like
when she turns the chair around and it's the skeleton of Mother.
This is that moment, right? Like it's so good because she, like you said, we get the melodrama, the overacting ramped up.
They never should have opened this place. Oh.
And then it turns on a dime to the most gut-wrenching story
fucking shit
about the dead kid in the 50s. And
they should have watched him. They should have. He wasn't a very good swimmer.
And at first we don't even know it's her kid. And she and I love the way the whole scene plays out, right? Like,
right, it's the best scene in the movie.
We don't even hear, like, from Alice's point of view, that it's crazy ass fucking Mrs. Voorhees first, that it's her son. We hear the delusion in her head, and when she starts talking to it.
She starts seeing him drown and shit, and she's like, I am helping Jason. I am. And then she starts doing the voice.
God. The voice. Don't start me again.
Kill her, mommy.
I can't deal with it. I can't. And now from this point on is where it's like, this is before the trope started, but this is true like final girl battle.
Yeah,
right?
she's running, hiding, doing everything. Can.
We hit the pantry again, right?
I love the pantry scene. She's hiding in the pantry, and Mrs. Voorhees fucking bashes through the door, and they have the little sword fight with the frying pan. You never fuck with a frying pan.
We get stabs between each other left and right. Like, again, this is a true, like I said, this is a true final girl battle. This is everything you want.
She gets her pinned in the fucking room with the guns that don't work, and she just starts bitch slapping the fuck out of her.
She had it coming.
She did. She tried to
shoot
her.
She threw a bunch of dumb shit
and the
at
gun.
her.
She threw the gun at her too.
Like she just like threw dumb thing after
ball
dumb
of yarn.
Yes,
I loved the ball of yarn.
Like she had it coming just for the stupidity of it, right? Like she was just
I'm
like
gonna slap the shit out of you throwing this dumb shit at me.
But she does make it out. She like Alice gets one good like lunge, right?
Yeah, she hits her with the butt of the rifle, knocks her out,
makes her way out of the building. This is when we get to the canoes.
The canoe fight.
Our big ending moment, right?
Yeah, she's like
they're out of the canoes. They knock the shit out of each other. We really get to find out everything that's gone on. Like all of it gets fleshed out here. She's fed up. She can't believe that this happened to her kid. She can't possibly let it open again and all of this happen again. And then she literally starts, like, the delusion has gone full chaos mode because she starts like blaming Alice, like Alice was the one.
Yeah, she's like, it's your fault. You let him die. Ah! And they have the fight with the oar.
Yes, dude.
Shit.
And
I'm waiting for pocket sand. I wanted Alice to grab a big handful of sand and just throw it in Voorhees' face.
The whole battle was intense. It was good. Like it was so crazy. But then Alice finally gets the upper hand. Again, like with the oar, machete. Knocks her, runs for the machete. This was so good because she got knocked, but it was towards the direction of the machete, and she was like, opportunity.
Right? Just that quick thinking all final girls need, man.
And now this is the one time the slow-mo worked, right?
That's awesome.
The look of her as she like stumbles from foot to foot with the swing starting. It looks
so
so
good.
badass. And again, I promise you that one's not intentional. It looks like she probably fell
after she
right?
swung. She
because the
probably
way
did.
she's stumbling from foot to foot, but slowed down with the slight swing starting,
She probably did.
it looks so badass, right?
And they actually show the head get cut off.
This was, again,
when you're 8 years old,
again,
is the most terrifying thing ever.
Not great by any means.
No.
But it looked good for then. Looked good for me as an 8-year-old.
Especially on
and
VHS.
It's practical.
Oh, it's so good. I love it.
We love practical effects.
And I also love how Mrs. Voorhees suddenly turns into man-hand Mrs. Voorhees all of a sudden.
Well, and now we get our legacy prop that will come back for eternity.
The decapitated head of Mrs. Voorhees.
Well, the decapitated head and the sweater. The
blood-stained sweater.
Yeah, it comes back a lot, too. It's even in Freddy vs. Jason, too. Like, when they go to his dream island, the sweater is there.
That's right.
I'm telling you.
It's been a while since I've seen that one.
It is a piece of lore that stays with the franchise, the sweater.
What's what saves the final girl in the second one? She throws the sweater on and
freaks him out.
Cosplays as his mom for a second.
Now, I know we're giddy, and it sounds like we're done.
Yeah, kind of, but not quite.
We have one twist weirdness.
She gets in the canoe and paddles off into the middle of the lake.
Which I don't understand.
She doesn't know that Mrs. Voorhees was working alone?
I still don't understand why that's where you go.
She'd hear the splashing, I guess.
Then the cops show up in the morning. She wakes up to see him.
She kind of waves at him, even like, "Oh, thank God, the cops are here." They wave back at her like, "Hey, we're here."
And then this again on top of the little boy voice. This scene,
this fucking,
I literally almost pissed my pants.
Yeah, when you're a kid, this shit, like, because you think it's fucking over, and it's got that really creepy synthesizer music going on.
So far, it's been very real. Like you said, it's been very grounded. This is like a real thing. It's a woman who went insane, post-traumatic stress.
We just saw her die. We're done.
Zombie fucking kid,
rotted
from
kid
the bottom of the lake, flips the canoe,
grabs Alice, pulls her under the fucking water. There's the big music sting, and
somehow she makes it
into the movie, right?
No, hospital.
Still some more of this movie. It should have ended there.
Oh,
I think it should have just ended
the
right
reason
there.
It didn't end there is just for us to get the solid. They wanted you to understand did it or didn't,
yeah,
right? Like, because without it, and it being the kind of like death all over that we've seen before, a lot of people would have left and been like straight B. Oh, what the hell was the weird zombie? With the added bonus of hearing the cops be like, yeah, she just was in the water.
There's no boy.
We had to fish her out. That's crazy. It gave us the did it or didn't it.
Yeah, she must have been dreaming.
But again, like I said, the did it or didn't it, while great way to end it.
Yes.
Is also what makes it to where this movie does not connect to the rest of them. Of my beloved franchise. Again, I love this franchise.
It really doesn't. Like, they completely undo this ending in the next movie.
In every bit.
And then
within
try to
5 minutes.
And then try to explain
movie.
it away even with some half-ass psycho bullshit.
Not good.
No.
Not good
Doesn't
at all.
work at all.
All right. We are definitely done with the movie. It is over. We're sorry, guys. We kept trying to go to the others. Maybe that proves that every new Friday the 13th. I think there's one in December. We might have to do a special episode.
Yeah, we might have to.
Like a double recording. Yeah. We'll release one in the middle of a week for doing one of the other ones. Yes. But yeah, maybe we start doing one for every Friday the 13th.
I'm good with it because there's like 12 of these.
There's a lot, especially when you start counting. Yeah,
like remakes and shit. Yeah. Fuck.
But yeah, it was good. It's been good. Loved this beer.
Yes.
I am, again, like I said at the beginning, I am a bigger fan of this than the real Marzen.
Yeah, me too.
The lighter style of it, just like I said, like the Germans said, lends itself better for drinking all day.
Yeah.
The Marzen takes a little bit more to like really keep going.
You want to spread those out a little more.
But on that note, I do think our next one is also maybe one of these. What do you got for us, Bo? What are we drinking next time?
Next one, we're going back to Warp Wing. Warp Wing Brewing Company.
Dude, 2 in a row, and we loved both of them.
We liked both of those. So
they're kind of like taking over the new season.
Yeah, they are. They've been here a lot. But we're gonna be doing their Lagerstadt Oktoberfest beer. So I'm excited. I'm happy for that one.
I'm ready.
What movie are we doing? This is my pick.
Yeah, you get to tell us.
That's right. We're going to be doing American Werewolf in London.
Nice.
The this movie gave me so many nightmares when I was a kid.
And I love that this is where we're going because we're kind of hitting a lot of these, right? So we've done slasher, we've done zombie in a weird way.
Yeah, kind of.
And now we're getting monster.
Yes.
Like we're hitting a lot of different styles of horror this year. I love it.
We got to spread it all around.
I love it. But all right, guys, you know how this works. On that note, I'm pretty sure that we are done.
All right, just remember the moral of our story here. Don't be a fucking camp counselor.
Steve is busy doing fuck all.
I don't
know
what he's
all
doing
the time.